We got started.
Yeah, do we have one?
And there are some folks on Zoom. Adrian is available via Zoom, will be available at 5 o'clock.
Who else is on Zoom?
Tammy and Adrian.
So should we start with the election of the co-chairs? Or see if anyone wants to volunteer to be co-chair?
Go for it. I mean, yeah, if you wanted to start. Go
All
ahead.
right. Well, Jason and I have been co-chairs for our 3-month rotation. And is anyone interested in being one of the 2 new co-chairs?
I would like to suggest that we continue the tradition that we started with you all, which is having one more established CAPS member and a newer one serve as co-chairs, if possible. Obviously not mandatory, but it seems like a decent way for new people to sort of learn the ropes,
I like
if
that.
possible.
You are looking at me. I exchanged a few emails with Ash Clark. So I'm not going to reapply for my appointment because I'm going to an overseas study. And Ash told me that, I cannot just Zoom this meeting for a couple of months. I'm going to be back to state mid-June, so I cannot miss more than 1 or 2. I already doing some meetings via Zoom, so I going to use my Zoom meeting time. Because it's not possible to join meetings via Zoom overseas. I won't be able to apply for a reappointment, but after my appointment time ends, until someone gets my appointment, my place, I want to help. But officially, my appointment is ending at the end of January, right?
Yes, so there are.
So I would pass my.
Well, that's exciting though. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I don't know if it's practical to co-chair for just for a few weeks, so it might be much better if someone else takes over here.
Yeah.
You can continue to serve after the expiration of your term for up to 90 days or until you're either reappointed or someone is appointed in your place. So if before, you're allowed to, I think, as I mentioned, you can't attend more than 50% of all the meetings virtually.
Yeah, I can.
So you could.
I already used my virtual time. So that was my concern. So do you think
the year starts over? So it's within 50% of the meetings within a year. So you could be virtual next month as long as it's not, 6 of the or 7 of the 12 meetings if there are 12.
Okay. Do you think during this grace period I can co-chair? Am I allowed to do this during my grace period?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what you mean by grace period, but yes, you're allowed
my
to co-chair.
appointment ends, I'm going to serve on
Yes,
someone.
the 90 days. You're still on the commission until you're replaced or 90 days after the 31st. So yes, you can co-chair.
If someone is more interested than me, I definitely pass my. Unfortunately, if this person is not, I can try for one month or 2 months to see the responsibilities goals and how I communicate with Ash.
Maybe next week. Other interested parties or people?
Don't hold them at once.
I will.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Okay.
Kamala, if you are interested in it, that might be much better.
Yeah.
Because you will continue.
It's 2 co-chairs, so
It's
it's you,
next
2.
you and Kimmy.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
because
fine.
it was me. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
2,
Oh,
not 1.
what?
I'm sorry. If Sophia's doing it, then we need a newer member. So
Oh no, well we need 2.
2. I was thinking 1, 2. They are looking for 2 co-chairs.
Yeah, I mean, Sophie is still sort of a newer member compared to you anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you can go ahead.
Yeah, have you shared before? No, so,
I don't know, Todd, are you interested?
Not yet, I don't think.
You only have one meeting under your belt so far.
I would
yeah,
certainly step up if it makes sense, but at this point, probably not.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, well, is anyone else interested or shall we vote? I think we can vote then on
Shifting co-chairs to,
shooting co-chairs to Sophia and Kamala. Okay. So I guess Kamala, you would vote first.
Yay.
yeah. Then you said Adrian's?
Not available yet.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I can do it over voice, but yes.
Okay, thank you.
You want to just go in a circle?
Okay,
You can go first.
yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
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 Woo. Right,
I would also make a motion to change the co-chair rotation to 6 months. Since I think that's what we did this last time and it seems to have worked okay. And having new co-chairs every 3 months seems a bit jarring, in my opinion. So for organizational stability, I'd make a motion that we change co-chairs to 6 months rule instead of 3.
Oh, that, I might not be able to, because,
Well, you might be the exception.
okay,
Yeah, in that case, we would need to re-elect a new co-chair after your 3 month. Any discussion on that?
is
Yeah,
there a second?
do, it has to be seconded before discussion? I'll second it so we can discuss it. So why was it initially decided that it was 3 months?
The person who suggested that in the beginning is not here anymore, and they were extremely concerned about the commission being governed in a way that is hierarchical.
Hmm.
And I don't think we have experienced that problem, in my experience.
Yeah, at least not in terms of chairs, right?
We did, but we resolved it using our conflict resolution procedures. So I don't think extending the term to 6 months is gonna cause extreme tyranny.
In terms of
Of co-chair.
Yeah. The reservation I have is that people would be less willing to volunteer for a co-chair if they feel pressured to serve for 6 months. I wouldn't, but
I suppose if we came to that situation and no one could do it for 6 months, we could go back to 3 months.
your thoughts?
Do you have any thoughts, Cami or Adrian?
That would make sense to me.
were we co-chairs for 6 months?
When were you elected co-chairs?
I don't remember.
Yeah, we did have some meetings that we didn't meet.
Oh, that's probably why.
It was August. I think you guys have been co-chairs since August.
Oh, okay. I believe you. I don't know.
oh, 6 months, we've been doing for,
Time flies.
I can't believe.
Should be in the
Oh,
minutes.
sorry,
somewhere.
no.
Okay, well,
I think
actually, no, or someone else should call it.
I think if our nominated co-chairs agreed that from now, with the exception of you, to stay 6 months, then we can certainly like keep it that way for now. I mean, and revisit it again, and then in 6 months, but I think it definitely makes sense to just make that normal.
Yeah, I think that's logical. You want to vote? Then,
So Sophia, now that you are co-chair
And Cami.
and Cami, you guys will like call the vote and such and move the meeting through the agenda.
Okay, today, you mean?
Yeah,
Starting from today?
yeah.
Okay. All right, so has Todd and.
Have you and Cammy decided who's gonna be doing that? Who's gonna be running the meeting?
So.
Sophia, would you like to run the meeting?
You can go ahead, come on.
Well, I can't really see everyone who's there.
You are
so-
senior, so, you've been here for a while, so please go ahead.
All right,
No, you can see everyone, Cammy, now that I'm in the camera. It's just me.
all right. I'm
Just- yeah.
sorry. I don't know your name yet, sir.
Me, I'm Todd.
Todd,
Yeah.
would you like to vote?
Sure.
To accept it,
So, are we,
to change, so the vote
We're
is.
voting the vote is to change the term for
Fine.
co-chairs
To
to 6
From
months.
3 months to 6 months timeline for the co-chair time.
yeah, so, recommend that we vote now. Can we, motion to make a vote that, for now, we leave the term of our co-chairs at 6 months, as it was before. So,
So, yeah,
Yeah, so I think we already had a motion,
oh,
so.
really?
then-
I made
So
a
I'm the
motion to
first to
change it.
vote?
I actually made a motion to
Right.
change it from 3 to 6. It
I did.
actually
Sorry,
technically
that
was
was
supposed.
I vote, yeah.
Yeah, it's confusing because it was supposed to be 3 months, but they accidentally served
Yeah.
6 months.
I'll work on my Roberts rules.
It's okay.
No,
Sorry.
we all work together.
Yeah,
You're the first vote.
yes.
Yes, okay.
All right. Najla,
Yes,
Sophia,
Yay.
Patty,
Yes,
Jason,
Yes,
Adrian, are you with us? I
Yeah,
don't think-
sorry. I'm at work until 5 and then I get off. But yeah,
I know. I'm sorry, and I don't want to
You're
bother
good.
you. So I didn't know if you could hear us or not. So
Yeah.
you're
I'm
good.
sorry.
Yeah, no, I have you in my ears.
All right. Thank you for participating. All right. Thank you. The next item that we're dealing with is,
Amy, are you gonna vote?
oh, I'm sorry. I guess that would probably be important. Yes, I vote yes. So that approved on all counts. Are there any changes that need to be made to the minutes?
I recommend that we remove, under new business, good communication practices and move that to February. Simply because I think we're gonna be taking up a lot of time with this problem-free exercise, and I don't think we'll have time to discuss them until
All right.
February. Assuming that's what this was referring to, the communication guideline.
All right.
We're approving the minutes from November.
Oh. I would also recommend that we scratch new business A, because I was planning for us to cover that in the reports from the outreach committee. So I recommend that we scratch both A and B and move B to next month.
Does anybody else have anything to say about that?
There has to be a second to a motion to discuss it, basically.
What did you say, Ash?
That, I think what you were trying to say, is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Okay.
So do we take a vote or,
You can discuss it if you want to open up for discussion.
all right, would you like to discuss this?
Is anybody itching to go over that good communication practices?
Jason,
I am, but in February.
Patty,
Okay, for the good communication practices, I'm receiving a lot of email, the date and, we are talking about change days, someone else's schedule sometimes has conflict. We have in the last minute changes. Sometimes I put the schedule on my calendar. I'm going with my calendar, and all of a sudden the time change, and it also conflicts with my schedule later. So, do you think we can be like, what can we do for the
So that,
assistant?
that
You know,
item
like,
is actually, it's referring to something in the packet that we were
Okay.
gonna discuss. And so Nasia was suggesting that we discuss it in February because she feels that we don't have enough time today.
Okay.
And someone already seconded it? Okay,
But you could suggest adding a new topic.
yeah.
I don't know, like I just noticed that, I put the dates and the time on my calendar, and it just,
Mhm.
someone else's schedule list has conflict, others person, like
Mhm.
a lot of email communications, like sometimes it's very difficult to follow up, the last updated date.
Mhm.
But, sometimes
Yeah.
I messages to Nejla, is this the last date? Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
But
don't be
that's
sorry at all.
only me, yeah.
I agree that it's a pressing issue for our commission. But if we have concerns about time, I mean, especially since, like, I guess we only have an hour, that's fine with me. But I definitely agree with you that it's something that we need to discuss.
All right, do we need to take a vote?
Let's do it.
All right. Jason,
Yes.
Patty,
Yes.
Sophia,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
I got it. Najla,
Yes,
Adrian, if you're not busy.
Yes.
All right, yes. All right, and now back to approval of the last month's minutes.
I do not have any changes for those.
I think they're good.
All right, Ash, are there any changes?
Changes to the minutes?
Yeah, for last month.
No one suggested any changes so far.
All right. So
Someone's
does
gonna move.
anybody, does
Yeah.
anyone make a motion to approve the minutes for last month?
I make a motion to approve the minutes. for
I
last month.
second.
Thank you. Jason,
Yes.
Patty,
Yes.
Sophia,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
Najla,
Yes,
Adrian,
Yes.
yes. Passes with all yeses. All right, are there any reports from the co-chairs? Sophia, do you have a report?
I just learned that I will be co-chair, so
So
I did
that's
not
a no.
prepare this agenda today, yeah, but then next time, definitely,
All-
I
All
will
right,
forward the report. I didn't know that we would co-chair until today, sorry.
all right.
I'll just follow the previous report. That's
All right. I do not have a report either. So are there any individual members that have reports?
I do.
Najla,
Oh, I wanted to remind everyone, especially our newer members, of the CAPS conflict resolution procedures that our commission created by consensus last year, maybe the year before, especially for our newer members, so that just that they know they're there. If any conflicts do arise, these procedures have been utilized, and you can contact Ash for a copy. And I also wanted to update everyone regarding the issue of unequal treatment of the CAPS Commission by the city regarding the procedures that our commission is required to follow, which differ quite markedly from the procedures that other commissions are required to follow. Basically the update is that Stephen has agreed, who is one of our staff liaisons in addition to Ash, has agreed to meet with the new head of the legal department to raise those concerns with them and to request a swift remedy. In addition, the somewhat related topic, but different topic of the active suppression that was made by the city legal department upon the work of our commission in November, which we'll all remember. They are also going to raise that issue with them in the same meeting. And so hopefully we will hear a report from Stephen or Ash about this very soon.
Todd, is that something that you, I guess, just because you said that we would all remember, I wasn't sure that that was something that Todd knows about.
No, I wasn't aware of it,
Okay.
but I mean, I think I understand.
I'll be happy to fill you in
Cool.
after the meeting too,
Yeah, thank you.
unless you want to discuss it now.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be like Todd.
Thank you.
But
No.
I just,
Yeah, you're right. I'm in the dark a little bit. I appreciate it.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Are
that's it.
are there any other individual members that have anything to report?
I don't have anything to report.
All right, it is time for the outreach committee group exercise.
Okay, do you want to do the reports from committees first?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do the
That's
report.
okay.
From,
I just
outreach
thought we'd do
committee.
the exercise at the end of this section.
I'm sorry. Do the report from the outreach committee. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so reporting from the outreach committee, we met and we actually have met twice. We met in December and January. We articulated 3 goals for this coming year of the committee, which are to, 1, make a plan with the new mayoral administration and her staff to fund our feasibility study and execute that. 2, to increase the outreach with unhoused and other safety marginalized groups in our community. And 3, to continue to develop a community-wide coalition with nonprofit orgs and the campus community, especially the providers of community safety. And yeah, so those are the 3 goals of that committee. And just some info for newer members. The outreach committee was created with the specific purpose to be sort of the communications wing of the commission, because, you know, that's obviously a fairly time-consuming task that cannot be organized within the commission meetings themselves. And that way everyone can sort of have extra time and sort of do that in an organized way. So I really encourage any of our newer members interested in joining the outreach committee to let me know. I'm the chair of that committee, and I'll be happy to update our meeting schedule based on your convenience. So yeah, just that pitch is out there. And so if you're interested in carrying out those 3 goals, do let me know. I do want to give updates on the event that's coming up. I hope everyone had time to review the marketing materials. At least you don't actually have to review them in detail, because our outreach committee, which was created for this purpose, already reviewed them in detail and approved them. And so it's really, this is mentioning it in this meeting is more of like a heads up, last call, anything major that you see concerns you, let us know. Speak now or forever hold your peace, because we're about to send everything in the next couple of days. So hopefully everyone had time to review that. That would include the all the graphics, the press release, the email campaign. Yeah, all of those. Anyone have any comments, concerns, anything to?
I'd just like to say that I thought Patty did a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. The graphics look amazing.
I thought you did a
Okay,
wonderful job too, Naja. Thank you for all your hard work.
well, thank you.
It looks
I
really
do
great,
think-
guys.
And I just also wanted to add that to those marketing materials, there's been a couple of small changes just for transparency. Dr. Jody Armour of the University of Southern California, a law professor who's one of the main cast of the documentary, has actually agreed to be a panelist. So I know we invited him a few weeks ago and they just got back to us a couple days ago. So I've added him on the materials. He's going to be a virtual panelist.
It's exciting.
And we added the IU Cinema logo. Actually, Patty added it to the list of sponsors since they weren't one of the like recruited sponsors, but they were sort of the original sponsor of the event. Oh, and I added parking info to the third email since that was brought up in the outreach committee. So those are all the updates with that.
Oh, but
Yeah.
we are supposed to buy our own tickets, right?
Yeah, and I just wanted to emphasize that.
So we
That-
are not just walking in, we have to buy our tickets.
Yeah,
So-
all CAPS members should please order your tickets. Well, once you see the marketing materials, I'll be sending it out to all the CAPS members, so it'll be really easy for you to click all the links. But I highly encourage you to do that right away, because what you don't want is to be in a situation where we've sold out the seats and CAPS members don't have a ticket. So, and they hopefully will sell out. That's our goal, right? So everyone should reserve their ticket ASAP when they get those. And there's 2 different tickets. You need one for each event.
One for the screening, another is for panel discussion.
Yeah. And then the only other thing to update, just to make sure everyone's aware of it, again, for transparency, the outreach committee also approved having a button added to the CAPS website that goes to a Google form, the Community Safety Roundtable, and that was already linked in all the materials. So hopefully you had a chance to check that out. And that is basically so that we have a call to action or a avenue to accept the people who attend these 2 events who would like to join with this work, so that we have some way to track them and bring them into the movement. Okay, any comments on that, questions? And that has not really been defined yet, what we're going to do with the roundtable, but we sort of just are assembling them for now. And then the last thing I think that goes in here that the outreach committee has approved is a letter to be sent to Mayor Thompson that I think I also included in all the materials to you all. The only minor change to that letter was I did do a fact check on that one section, and I was right. It was an $8 million increase, and I added a small ratio to show, because if you remember, the sentence was like, the $45,000 that we've requested is dwarfed by this 8 million. Or actually, it was 45 to 60. So I actually did the math, and 60,000 into 8 million is actually like 133 to 1, like the ratio. So I just included that in parentheses in that section. And that I think was your request
Yeah.
to kind of tie it back.
Because she's very busy individual.
Sure.
She's not gonna read
She's not gonna do the
everything, so
math
You
and all
just put
that.
in the
Yeah.
sentence, so she will get the idea.
Yeah.
It's less,
Yeah.
expensive, but it's
Yeah.
more affordable to do the same thing with such research.
Okay, so any comments, questions on any of the outreach materials? I know it was a lot. We don't normally do this many materials at once, but this was a 2-month time period and we are doing a lot. This is an important time period as well. So there's no comments or
We also
questions.
discussed about, remember you said last year, we asked help from some organizations,
Yeah.
including mediation center, Border County Mediation Center.
Yeah.
And they gave us help for free, and then you proposed that we should give them some kind of courtesy compensation.
Yeah, yeah. We've
and-
also discussed in the outreach committee, like
And we should also. pay
planning a detailed budget for
budget.
these
So
outreach efforts.
I think it's a good idea, but we didn't discuss.
We didn't
how
have time to
much we
discuss
would
it, yeah.
pay, who is gonna pay, how we're gonna get funding for this.
Yeah. Okay. So if there's no comments or questions on any of those, I will move on to the problem tree exercise that we have allotted 30 minutes to tonight. So hopefully everyone did have a chance to read the report. The new members, I know the older members have already read it. And okay, we've got posted here. So if everyone could just take a small stack of Post-its, make sure you have a pen for this exercise. So the CAPS Commission was created to help recommend positive changes to our public safety system. And before we can hope to successfully change a complex system like this one, we need to agree as a group on how the system works, what is broken in the system, and what needs to be changed. Such a systemic view requires us to differentiate between symptoms and root causes of problems. And this is important because many times people immediately rush to try to address the symptoms of a complex problem, expecting the problem to go away. And in doing so, normally that will not only not stop the problem, but many times it makes the problem worse, or it simply creates more harm in the system. We want to avoid doing this. So the only way for a diverse group of people, such as ourselves, to undertake such an analysis is to make all these mental models that we have of this problem explicit and discuss them. So the previous work that the commission did on alternative public safety, and which is in the report, was meant to help our community to identify the problems and reach a consensus on what the best solutions might be to resolve these problems. And in closing, I want to mention, we had no idea about this when we scheduled this activity for today, but I noticed on social media that today is a Jewish holiday called Tu Bishvat, and it's known as the New Year of Trees in Jewish tradition. So it's a happy coincidence, and I wanted to wish everyone happy Tu Bishvat in keeping with this problem tree activity that we're doing. I mean, it's not directly related, but seems like a nice coincidence, and it literally starts at sunset, which is about right now, so it's like perfect timing just by luck. Okay, so another word for a problem tree is causal analysis, and again, the purpose is to make our mental models explicit so that we all sort of have a similar idea of what the problems are, what we should do about them. So if we could start by taking the next 2 minutes to think about the problems or harms that were identified in the report related to public safety in Bloomington, and write each problem on a Post-it note, and try to be specific. So consider both general and specific problems, new ones and old ones. And please add a Post-it for any problems that you think are not identified in the report, but should be addressed in our alternative public safety. So we'll take 2 minutes to do that exercise. So I'm going to update our times for these exercises. Because I've got my notes on pulled up on my phone. A minute 40. Started the 2 minutes. So we're thinking of problems or harms that were identified in the report. And for you on Zoom, you guys can just use a sheet of paper if you don't mind. Is that the alarm?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll turn it up a little better. I don't know.
Okay, so now we're going to, if everyone's about done, you can have a couple more minutes to finish whatever you're writing. Did you write all yours online?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Who knew? So,
You too.
now we're going to take our problems and we're going to come up here and we're going to place them on the diagram according to whether we think they are first causes or symptoms of the problem. And then according to the categories that are up here. And for those of you online, if you can't read the categories, they are social, institutional, economic, and health. Everyone's gonna now put their Post-its on the dry erase board in the category where you think it belongs.
I just have the one. Can I go first?
Yeah, we can all go at the same time.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah. Don't be shy.
And if folks online wanna, you can send them to me, I can write them down and put them
Oh,
up.
yeah, that's great. Thanks, Ad.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, if people online want to put it into chat, ask to convey your Post-its. There's, you have. Nice. Anything come through, the interwebs, to add?
Via chat, no.
Okay. Okay, so let's see, now let's take another look at these. And, shout out if we wanna move them or anything like that. So we have under social, on problems, of symptoms, we have, in the social category, the social stigma of homelessness, racial inequity. Okay, so this is indicating that these are the social manifestations of problems within our public safety system, right? And then we have economic, we have food security, right? People not being secure of having food, housing insecurity, lack of affordable housing, systemic poverty. Yeah, that one probably could go in between institutional and economic, systemic poverty. Probably put that right at the base of the tree, I would say. Pretty important. Welfare system sucks. So that's referring to economic. Another lack of affordable housing, which just goes together.
Have you guys applied or know how much little they pay for cash help? You really need to be like, you are supposed to have nothing
Oh, cool.
to get the little cash help.
Once we plan
Nice.
it.
And, it's just ridiculous, like, I don't know how people are surviving if
Yeah.
they cannot work, they have disabilities.
Well, just in the interest of time, let's get back to this, if it's okay. And so we've got the welfare system that sucks, which Sophia seems to agree with. And we've got added from online mental illness leading to drug addiction and homelessness. I'm putting that with health. Overall needs a more responsive approach, which we could put over into institutional. So it's sort of a half and half. And then the healthcare that is inexpensible and too expensive. So that was appropriately placed in between economic and
It's supposed
healthcare.
to say inaccessible.
Mhm.
My handwriting is a little loopy.
Yeah, that's okay, I can read it. Continued COVID measures under health, public health, community, public health, community, organization, public health, community organizations, dental care. Okay, and then, and then we have drug use was also added from online. I'm putting that under health. And then we have under institutional, we have affordable housing for students and faculty. Okay. Yeah, I would probably put that more under economic myself. And I mean, I know it's definitely related to institutions, school shootings. Maybe social. Reliance on underfunded nonprofits, that is definitely an institutional problem. So that is, I think, referring to the fact that our community, just as many communities in the US, has shifted over the several decades to attempt to solve all these problems by simply outsourcing them, if you will, to the nonprofit private sphere, outsourcing them out of the public sphere. Well, nonprofits and private, right? We want them to be solved by a combination of private businesses and nonprofits rather than the public sphere. And then a need for alternative policing to deal with folks who are at risk. Okay, so in institutional, we're lacking that. And then here on the ground line, so I guess this is a mix of cause and symptom. You have over policing. I'm not sure who made that one, what that specifically refers to.
Is it you?
Yeah, that was in the institutional.
Yeah, I'm not sure specifically, I mean, over policing could mean a lot of things. I'm not sure specifically what you're referring to there.
Yeah, so with that, I was thinking specifically about the institutional police are relied upon more, the overuse of police, I guess.
Overuse, yeah.
If that's-
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you meant like targeting minority communities or exactly what you meant.
Oh, yeah.
So more over reliance, yeah, over reliance on police. Okay. And then under causes, so these are the things that are creating the problems. We have the lack of accountability in government. Okay, so I think that person is referring to the fact that our crime rates go up, and it's not like when you vote for someone, you're necessarily like, oh, well, you know, I'm just gonna vote you out because the crime rate's not the only thing on the ballot, obviously. So creates some kind of hazy.
I was kind of referring to along the same lines of reliance on nonprofits and private. That one of the things that you found when you were doing your research was that there were issues that there was no accompanying department for.
Okay. Oh, I see. Lack of accountability for solving these problems within the
Yeah.
government. I see. Yeah, so that's more of the gap. The gap. Okay. And then ineffective police training is here under institutional. And then we have health disparities. Health disparities, I'm guessing among like marginalized populations that are unequal health-wise to begin with, and then that feeds up to all this to make all of this worse. Okay, good. So
Also the continued COVID
Oh,
protection
yeah.
measures, yeah, there's one.
the continued COVID
I mean,
protection measures.
people think that, no one is wearing masks, no one sensitized. Have you ever followed the rate and wrote to CDC and World Health Organization. There isn't actually.
So one thing I think
Right,
we left off here is, like the new jail. Like that, I would call that a symptom in our local community, right? Because most of these things could apply to any community, but specifically like our government, our county government wanting to make a much more expanded jail, I think is one of the probably institutional problems.
Is there any plan in Bloomington, Indiana?
Well, we don't have time to discuss all of these right now. That's
I
actually
didn't
not
hear.
the
I
point of
didn't hear
this.
that part.
Yeah, we're not gonna be discussing that right now. So anyway, the point is, look at this. What a mess, right? This is a mess. And so to look for solutions to this, we need to summarize these problems in a way. We don't have time to try to do that tonight, but luckily in our report, we grouped all of these problems into 3 general categories that we found that summarized all of these, which were, the first one is obstacles in getting access or barriers to access of resources, right? So if we wanted to categorize these, probably a lot of things would fall under that. The lack of affordable housing, the food insecurity, most of this economic stuff falls under that. I'd say most of the economic and health stuff falls under the obstacles or barriers to access of resources. Okay, so that was one of our main problems. Another one was conflicting goals. We found that there were conflicting goals within our government's approach to public safety. And when those goals conflicted, we found a lot of times that's when safety was undermined, human safety. And so that would probably maybe include things like the over policing. So the conflicting goals. You like number 2, probably include that. And then the third one was the institutional gap. The institutional gap. And that was, generally speaking, who can summarize the institutional gap for us that was identified? The institutional gap is the third problem identified in the report. It's a gap that prevents a responsive approach.
Isn't that just what you were getting at with the gap on my post-it, lack of accountability,
Yes,
that there is not
within the city institutions.
a specific process for a lot of the problems within the different city
Yes.
departments.
Yeah, and it does refer to accountability, you're right, because we found within the city government, within the public safety system, that there seemed to be no department who is themselves responsible for taking a responsive approach proactively to look at the evidence-based causes of crime and reduce crime and then be held accountable for those results. Okay. Let me get this on screen better. So what are we gonna do to have a solution to this? So we're going with the tree metaphor. How are we gonna solve this problem? Well, you might think we need an axe, right? Since it is a tree. So we reformulated this into our problem statement, saying that how can we create a solution that is going to this axe or metaphor that's going to remove the obstacles or barriers, that's going to close the gap and it's gonna resolve conflicting goals in favor of human safety, because that's the major conflict, is human safety with other goals, right? So, we needed acts to do all three of these things. So now we're gonna go to solution mapping. And, so problem solving is best done normally with an elegant and simple solution.
No.
One, or a very few that can address all or the worst problems with a fundamental idea or change, right? That's what this represents. What was that one fundamental solution that was suggested in the report that would attempt to resolve these three problems that encapsulates all these problems?
The feasibility study to,
Pretty close. It's the Department of
Oh,
Community
Community
Safety
resource-
and Resilience.
resource-
The first step of that is the feasibility study. Right? We need a feasibility study, we need a roundtable, we need lots of things for that to happen. We need money. But yes, the DCSR is intended to be the elegant solution to all of these problems. Since we don't want to cut down trees, right? Trees are our friends. And so problem solving, when it's done right, doesn't require eliminating or simply knocking out a harmful system. We actually want to apply a fix that can keep what's good and only, fix what's not working. So we're going to have something that's more of a magic wand, okay, that's going to include things like community, health resources, the feasibility study, the roundtable, all those things, right? So we're actually not going to be cutting down the tree. We just want to fix it. And so now let's think about the solutions. Let's take another, if you don't mind timing it, let's take 2 minutes and think of the different system changes that are proposed to take place within the DCSR. So not the things necessarily that we need to get there, but what does the DCSR entail? What are the changes to the system that would be done if we had a DCSR? What would be changed here?
wait, what are the things that would be different hypothetically because of the DCSR, or what are the aspects of the DCSR?
What are the aspects of the DCSR that would change anything here? How would the DCSR specifically be changing these things? What are the aspects of the DCSR that would change anything in the current system?
Institutional retraining.
Oh, let's put it on a post-it, please. Maybe I could just make another one over here, actually. Oh, okay, yeah, well, we'll just go over here. You got over there? Yeah. A little bit. Okay. Training. All right. So any of the changes that would be suggested in the report, or ones that you think were not included in the report, that are specific changes to the system that you think our public safety work should include? Review these. Yeah, so we can, I'll just select them because they're all just gonna go in the same place. Okay. So down here, so now we're making a solution tree. You can actually take a problem tree and make it a solution tree. And we're, in the interest of time, we're sort of cheating, using our report a bit, since we don't have time to recreate the report in detail tonight. But we're now making a solution tree because we don't want to dwell on the negative, and we don't want to cut down trees. We're using our magic wand, we're applying a fix, and voila, magic, now we have a solution tree. Now, instead of our problem tree, we have a solution tree. And in this tree, the roots of this tree are the system changes that we're applying, which include training, different training. I don't know what that means, especially maybe it means for the community safety responders. I'm assuming, since we didn't recommend any changes in police training. I'm not sure what they meant. Was that yours, Cammie?
No,
Well, regardless, training is one of the systemic changes that can create a solution tree. Citizens have more of a say in how crises are handled. That's one of the changes we're suggesting go into this new tree of our public safety system. An improved emergency response system. I'm actually going to put this up here under benefits because we haven't gotten to that yet. More community service officers. That can go here under probably near training. Alternative emergency number. Okay, great. We're growing the roots of our solution, dedicated solution for the housing crisis through government. Love that. That one right in the middle. Okay, what else do we have? Alternative response unit, unarmed and focused on support. Okay. Help the public to know how to access available resources on the web. Yes. Great. All right, so these are the magical changes we're putting in, transforming the tree. And then these changes are going to lead to benefits in these same areas that we had initially discussed. So under social, economic, we don't have to use Post-its for time. We can just, if you guys want to yell it out, I can just take notes. So what are some of the benefits? I mean, obviously we can't predict the future, but based on how our mental models work, we can hypothesize of benefits, and our report did a lot of detailed research that we have found evidence that other cities have found benefits from similar approaches. So what are some other social benefits that we would expect to arise from these changes?
Strengthen community.
Great. So we might have a stronger community because we're going to all be needed to work together to make these changes and strengthen our community relationships. Love it. What else? What about racial justice?
I was going to say cross-racial solidarity.
Ooh, cross-racial solidarity. Okay. Well, yeah, hopefully that would also be improved once we had better racial justice. Okay. I guess you could also put justice under institutional as well. Okay, moving on to economics. What economic benefits might the city have from an improved public safety system? Either that were identified in the report or not.
Wasn't it found that they would save money on, like, between the alternative program and the police program, using them both would be less expensive than just using police? Isn't that something that was in one of them? Some version of that?
I
Some
mean,
version
I
of
think
saving
that's
money?
the case. I think that's the case. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how much in detail that case was made, but I think it was cited that other cities, yes, I think you're right. I think it was cited that at least other cities that we researched found, they did an economic analysis and said that they did save money when you consider the saved cost in emergency response. So we'll just say reduced city spending. Good. What other economic benefits were identified? Considering that many marginalized people are also members of the workforce of this community, we would have a healthier workforce that would normally, that might improve our economy. We would also have reduced crime rates that might improve
gonna say the crime
tourism.
Down.
What?
I was gonna say the crime rate went down.
Yeah, so crime rates, I'm gonna put that under social, and then the crime rates reduction are gonna be causing tourism to increase. And then what about health-wise? What health benefits might we expect?
Maybe less drug use.
Hopefully, when people are getting drug treatment, there's gonna be less drug use.
Less alcoholics, less addiction problem.
And more options for treatment. Treatment.
Maybe mental health improves. Some people have jobs and their social life develops, it affects their mental health positively.
Yeah, and affordable and accessible health services.
Did you say less crime? Yeah, we did.
Okay, what institutional benefits might we expect to see based on these changes?
Transparency.
More transparency in the system. That's right, the report did suggest also that the city start to use very specific indicators to track the causal, the indicators that have been shown with evidence to cause crime. So transparency, what else?
Accountability.
Maybe accountability, very specifically in concerns with public safety,
Yeah, and
crime rates.
equal access to resources. When
equal access.
institutions are accountable, they are more transparent to show that they are equal. There is no racial discrimination or any other.
Less conflicting goals.
Yeah.
I don't know a more positive way to describe that. Consistent, maybe not consistent.
Maybe fair is better than consistent.
What?
Can I say fair access, equal access?
Yeah,
That is that. I'm sorry, that's right.
I'm just gonna say less conflicting goals because currently they conflict. And we'll probably always have some conflicting goals in the city. It's not like the goal of neighborhood development is gonna vanish under our suggestion. But we do have the suggestion that the VCSR would help resolve those conflicts in a way that benefits human safety. Okay, and we will also obviously have less of a gap in concerns human safety, which was sort of the whole key for why we decided we would want a department to be concerned with that, since none of the existing ones have that as their reason for existing. So just to wrap up, this has just been obviously very brief. And the benefits might include, officially now we've done like a Vulcan melding of the minds where we've calibrated our mental models together. So as a commission, we can always change and improve the shared vision that was articulated in the report. Ideally, we can always be building on our past work, right? I mean, if there's something certainly wrong, we should always go back and correct it. But ideally, we can start from where we left off rather than like starting all over again, right? Just because we have new members and it's a new year or whatnot. And we hope to build the solution and continue this work in an expanded way now by inviting the larger community, especially through these two events in February, the community who shares these problems to help design the solution, because we agreed that our small commission certainly is not capable, nor is it really our job to design in detail some of these kinds of solutions, right? Our job was to do sort of what you would call in legal terms, due diligence, right? To just investigate what other people have done, add the numbers up and go, hey, does this make sense? Should we explore this? We decided, yes, it does. And so we can always do many more such exercises in the future, not necessarily facilitated by me, possibly by CJAM or others of us in committees as where we have more time, and especially in a community roundtable, because we want to be bringing in our new members of the community for their ideas as well. But this should serve as a general refresher and introduction for newer members as to how the commission views its work specifically on this issue of alternative public safety, which we've also started calling community safety for a more positive wording, because we decided alternative public safety is somewhat negative. It's just saying not public safety, not the existing public safety system. So we decided community safety was a more positive phrasing. Okay, thanks everyone for taking part in this exercise. Any comments or questions about it?
Thank you, Najla.
I know
You're welcome.
we already made a lot of presentation at different commissions. We visited, everyone contributed to this. So do you think we can also get help from other commission interactive exchanges for this? Because some of the other commissions at the city of Bloomington, actually some of their thoughts are overlap from what we are doing.
Definitely, they do overlap.
We do. And some of them I saw, they're very interested in what you are doing. So how we are going to interact with other commissions to
Yeah,
like
that's a good
practice what
question.
we say.
Yeah, so we could always, we would discuss this more in an outreach committee meeting, since that's really the focus of that committee is the alternative public safety work in particular.
I know a few of them, like especially housing, eviction.
But we certainly
Yeah,
already
very,
tried
very
to
much,
directly do
yeah.
outreach with those commissions,
Yeah.
which was very forcefully suppressed by the city legal department in November, as you know. And so I'm planning to suggest that we try a new round of outreach such as that, not exactly the same. But that we probably should reach out first to the administration and ask them how they would like us to go about that, since the way we went about it last time apparently was not the preferred approach of the city. But it's all new people now, so who knows, But I agree. I mean, that was our whole point, was we wanted to include all the relevant commissions and boards, as well as the nonprofit community, as well as the campus community, literally all the important institutional stakeholders, including institutional in this. So I hope, I guess to answer your question, I hope that we can include them in in this work.
Definitely.
And I know
All right.
we tried to do that a few months ago.
All right. Ash, do we have a staff report?
Oh, I can. So, I don't have anything to report from, council staff. I don't think, but if any new members have any questions for me, or even, folks have questions, feel free to ask. I'm available if you have questions about how to do these things, Robert's rules, etc. So, thanks.
All right, thank you. Is there any other business?
A point of order, I think we missed the report from the reparations committee.
Oh,
It actually
Is
wasn't
there-
on the agenda. I'm not sure why.
would you like to give the report for the reparations committee?
Oh, yeah, I'd be happy to.
All right.
So the Reparations and Atonement Committee, just for newer members, that's a committee that was created to do what it says, specifically to address racial justice and to help facilitate positive reparations that could be made in that regard in our community. And again, new members are extremely welcome to join that committee as well. And in that committee, the committee organized a Black Ancestry Day event in November. And I hope everyone has had a chance to watch that recording. It was extremely informative, and everyone who was there really enjoyed it and learned a lot, I think. That event specifically had a few challenges as far as attendance goes, in that the main organizer was Cami, and as we know, Cami has limitations mobility wise. It's not easy for her to, for instance, put up flyers. And I frankly was undergoing surgery. And so unfortunately, our attendance at that event was lower than we would have liked. And just on that point, I know a lot of the newer members weren't even joined, or maybe they had just joined at that moment. But in general, I would highly encourage in the future for everyone on our commission to make an effort to attend all public events that are held by the commission, regardless of which committee has organized them. And in addition to really proactively market and do the marketing. And again, we didn't have very many co-sponsors. We just had one, the History Center, and they marketed it to their list, but I think they had a limited draw for that specific topic. So it was a wonderful event. It was unfortunately, fairly poorly attended. And hopefully everyone can watch the video and be able to share with other people in our community to go watch the video, and would be able to share with people what a wonderful event that was, and to share that our commission is doing such important work on behalf of racial justice. So congratulations, Cami, and thanks again for organizing that wonderful event for our community.
Thank you.
I think that's all the report on that.
I think we were also skipping over public comment.
I'm sorry. Public comment. Is there any public comment that would like to be heard now?
I don't see it on the agenda.
So for,
Reports, it's 6 reports from the public / public comment.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize we had got there.
There's no one currently from the public on Zoom.
Alrighty.
I know somebody briefly came in to make a comment just before the meeting started, but I think the gist of.
He made a comment about a shooting in Bloomington, Indiana. I haven't heard it. Anyone has heard?
There's
what you
been-
saying?
Is it two? Has there been two or just the one? There have been several.
In Bloomington, I know in other states. He specifically said Bloomington, Indiana.
Yeah, there was a shooting. Oh, there's been several incidents that I think he was referring to. That I know like the colloquial
Mhm.
story of them, but I don't really know too many
Right.
specific details. I would encourage you, if you're interested, I would encourage you to like check like the Herald Times or honestly like the Bloomington Reddit.
Bloomingtonian, or
always
the
have-
Bloomingtonian.
Yeah, it's been pretty recent, past couple months, there's been several incidents. Machetes, guns. It is an
In
issue.
schools? In the school?
No, it was not a school shooting, it was just a shooting. Yeah.
I'll check.
Yeah, I would just like to point out that many of the solutions that are being suggested in the alternative public safety work are specifically based on evidence that has been shown to reduce violent crime, including gun crime.
Yeah. One of the crimes one of the deaths that did occur as well was an issue in a camp where there were a bunch of unhoused people and there's a scarcity of resources and a dispute over someone like potentially or allegedly stealing, that kind of thing. So I think that is a conflict that very directly relates to everything that we're working on as well. Like connecting people with resources and mental health resources as well to work through those kinds of conflicts without that kind of violence.
We can also include active shooting training. People don't know what to do during an active shooting in institutions, in schools. Even though it happens very rarely, I think people need this training. Is there any active shooting training in the city of Bloomington?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of them are geared towards kind of situations like you were referencing though, with like in a school or a place of
Yeah.
business.
Institution specific.
Yeah, so not so
Location
much
specific.
related to the shooting that he was talking about.
Alexa, turn off.
What I understood from you, it was a shooting retribution. shooting.
Alexa, turn off.
Personal problem.
Oh, that was the
Right.
machete
Machete.
incident.
Yeah.
It was not
Yeah,
shooting.
I thought he was.
Sorry, what did you say, Yami?
Alexa, turn off. All right.
And the meeting is over, right?
Well, you and Kimmy are the new co-chair, so.
Yeah.
You have to
Yes.
walk
Oh.
us through the ending there.
Oh. Before, has anyone before we end the meeting, I was hoping to mention one thing. Can I mention it now? I guess I
Yes.
should have done it under reports. Well, I thought it was gonna go under new business, but we've never got there.
All right, is there any
You've
new
already cut it
business?
off.
Very quickly, I wanted to mention that Cammie and I are planning to sponsor a ceasefire resolution for the city council to take up. And we invite other members of this commission to reach out to either Cammie or I if you are interested in co-sponsoring that resolution.
Is there any other business?
No.
All right. I don't have to make the motion, do I?
You can adjourn the meeting as a chair.
Okay, I adjourn this meeting.
Meeting adjourned.
Another-